The city lights glimmered outside Claire Donovan's apartment window, but she wasn't admiring them. Her hands trembled as she clutched a folder filled with documents. The kind of documents that could ruin a man's life. That man was Ethan Cross. To the world, Ethan was charming, successful, and philanthropic, a rising star in the corporate world. To Claire, he was something else entirely. The man who had betrayed her trust, stolen her ideas, and destroyed her career for his own ambition. Claire had once believed in him. 3 years ago, they were not only colleagues but partners in every sense. Together, they had dreamed of building a company that would revolutionize renewable energy. They worked late nights, shared secrets, and whispered promises of a future that felt unbreakable. But Ethan had other plans. One evening, Claire walked into the boardroom, expecting to present their project. Instead, she found Ethan already there, smiling at investors, presenting her research as his own. By the time she realized what he'd done, it was too late. Ethan had stripped her name from every document, every patent, every credit. She confronted him, of course. She remembered the icy calm in his eyes when he said, "This is business, Claire. You were just the stepping stone I needed." The humiliation was unbearable. Overnight, she went from a rising innovator to a forgotten nobody. And Ethan, he became the golden boy of the industry. But Claire wasn't broken. She was patient. For 3 years, she rebuilt herself in silence, working quietly in smaller firms, all the while gathering evidence of Ethan's corruption. What the public didn't know was that Ethan's empire wasn't just built on stolen ideas, it was sustained by bribes, tax evasion, and a trail of people he had trampled. And now Claire had it all. Every lie, every secret, every crime. Tonight was the night. She slipped the folder into her leather bag and headed toward the gala Ethan was hosting downtown. The event was a spectacle: crystal chandeliers, velvet carpets, and cameras flashing as powerful people gathered to toast Ethan's latest success. Claire entered unnoticed, her black dress blending her into the crowd. She wasn't there for glamour. She was there for war. At the center of the room stood Ethan, holding a glass of champagne, soaking in admiration. He looked exactly as she remembered: tall, sharp-suited, and dangerous. When his eyes finally landed on her, the smug smile faltered. For a split second, Claire saw panic flash across his face. Then he recovered, striding toward her with feigned warmth. "Claire," he said smoothly. "What a surprise. I thought you disappeared." "I did," she replied, her voice steady. "But you know what they say, some ghosts come back to haunt." Before he could respond, the giant projector behind him flickered to life. Claire had already bribed a technician. Within seconds, documents began appearing on the screen: emails, financial records, stolen patents, all tied to Ethan's name. Gasps filled the hall. Murmurs erupted. Investors stared in disbelief as Ethan's perfect facade shattered. "What the hell is this?" Ethan barked, his confidence unraveling. "This," Claire said, stepping closer so only he could hear, "is the truth you buried. The truth that will bury you instead." The crowd turned hostile. Reporters rushed to capture the scandal. Lawyers whispered about lawsuits. Board members walked away in disgust. Ethan tried to protest, but every word only tangled him deeper in his own lies. Claire watched it all with a calm she hadn't felt in years. For so long, she had replayed that night of betrayal in her head, wondering how she'd ever make him pay. Now, watching his empire collapse in a matter of minutes, she knew Revenge wasn't about shouting or violence. It was about patience, precision, and timing. By the time security escorted Ethan out, his name was ruined. His power gone. The man who once stood untouchable was now nothing more than a scandalous headline. Claire walked out of the gala, into the cool night air, the weight of years lifting from her chest. The city lights sparkled brighter now, almost as if they belonged to her. She hadn't just taken revenge. She had reclaimed her life. And as she disappeared into the night, Claire knew this was only the beginning. Because some betrayals can never be forgiven. They can only be avenged.